I'm already kind of cringing at this one, just looking at the predictions that I went for the Premier League. So for those that don't know, I made 5 bold predictions before the Premier League started this season. I did the same for all the leagues in the EFL, the Championship, League 1, League 2. Already reacted to all those because those are done and dusted now. National League as well did that, waiting for the playoff final for that, which hasn't happened yet at the time of recording. But the Premier League is finished now. The results of who's getting Europe, who's won the title, who's been relegated, all in the books now, all completed. And I've had a shocker. I've had an absolutely embarrassing display here. My bold predictions turned out to not be brave, just dumb, as it turned out for the most part. Didn't go well. So, time to face the music. When you make these predictions and you get them wrong, you gotta face it. If you get them right, which pretty much never happens with me, but I imagine, at some point I might get some of these right, and, I might actually celebrate them. So now is the time for people to laugh at me. There's going to be plenty of that, particularly Liverpool fans. I can see you guys getting in my comments and firing off shots at me like Mohamed Salah was this season when it came to scoring goals. The guy was an absolute machine. That guy absolutely deserves to win a Ballon d'Or, 100% for his performances this season, no question. But whether he will or not, who knows? The whole thing's very political to say the least. But let's not talk about that. I've delayed this long enough. Let's get into it. Here we go. My reaction to my 5 bold predictions for the Premier League season. So, the first one. Ipswich Town to stay up. Oh boy. Well, none of the promoted sides stayed up. When I did my little mid-season update for this, I think they were in the bottom 3 at that point. They weren't cut adrift yet, but after that point, after the new year, all the newly promoted sides absolutely fell by the wayside. Sides that were down there, sides like Crystal Palace, Everton, Wolverhampton Wanderers, they all picked up steam, they all got their act together, and they all went well clear of the bottom 3, to the point where the Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur were down there instead. But neither of those got relegated. Ipswich did though, so I was wrong on this one. Out of the 3 promoted sides, I was always going to go with one of them to stay up. Out of the 3 promoted sides, I'd say on the balance of things on the whole season, Ipswich arguably did the best. I know Leicester finished above them by 3 points, but, for consistency's sake, overall, Ipswich I think did quite well given the fact that they were playing in League 1 2 years ago. They had back-to-back promotions. So, honestly, the newly promoted sides have been historically dreadful. It didn't look like they were going to be, apart from Southampton, they didn't look like they were going to be partway through the season, but that is what they've ended up being. So unfortunately, the Tractor Boys are straight back down, along with the Foxes and the Saints. But who did I go for to get relegated? Brentford. I went for Brentford to get relegated. Really bad call. Again, they did such a good job this season. Thomas Frank again working his miracles. I just thought that maybe at some point Brentford might struggle. I thought, they may well struggle again this season because they were pretty far down there last season, the season before last. It was only because the sides below them were really terrible. I know it goes for any side that stays up, but you know what I mean. Brentford were like 15th, 16th the season before, so I thought maybe they'll struggle, maybe they'll go down. But Thomas Frank again working miracles, again doing a fantastic job, and again Brentford just recruit really well, and they ended up finishing in 10th. They weren't that far off a European place. In fact, they went into the final day with a outside chance of Europe. Didn't happen for them unfortunately in the end, but the Bees are absolutely buzzing. They're doing a fantastic job, and as long as they keep Thomas Frank, for me, I can't really see them going down. I'm not going to go for them to go down this season coming up as long as Frank stays there, but we'll see. Number 3, the only one I've got correct. No European football for West Ham. Now, of course, West Ham sacked David Moyes at the end of last season, said that you're not good enough anymore, mate. We're sick of your football. Forget about the European trophy you won and the relatively consistent Europa League football. We need something better. We want to move on. We want to evolve. We're a bigger club now. So they brought in Julian Lopetegui, and it was a disaster. And they brought in Graham Potter, and it was a disaster. I'll be surprised if Graham Potter's still there. For me, give him a chance for sure, but it won't surprise me at all if that guy gets sacked in the off-season. It's been dreadful for West Ham this season. They've barely scraped above the 40-point mark which is the usual traditional stay up kind of points total you need. They've been awful. I just thought, a lot of people were really backing West Ham to do well. A manager who's managed some giant clubs, a manager who did really well at Wolverhampton Wanderers, brought in a lot of good players, but it just has not clicked for them. Strategically, tactically, it's just not worked for them at all so far this season. Whether it's Lopetegui, whether it's Potter, nothing has worked. So yeah, no European places for them, but weirdly, Tottenham Hotspur below them got the Champions League. So, you can never predict these things, but they are not in Europe, so that is correct. I got one, and that's the only one I got, because the next one, here we go, this is what I was meaning by Liverpool. I said Liverpool to finish outside of the top 4. Now, my reasons for doing so were pretty sound, or at least I thought anyway. I wasn't saying that Liverpool were going to suck. I was just saying that Liverpool didn't have the best season last season. Not too amazing under Jurgen Klopp for their final season in charge, by their standards, of course. And I thought that Arne Slot, he's not really brought any players in. And, there's going to take time to adapt to his new system. It's going to take time for him to get used to the club. I wasn't saying that Slot was going to get sacked or anything. I was just thinking that with the competition at the top of the Premier League, Liverpool, to ask them to win the title would be too much of a step up. Evidently, I was very wrong about that. It was clearly enough for them to step up. They did a fantastic job this season. I am sick and tired of people saying that they only won it because the league was poor this season. No, they won it because they were the best team in the country. Simple as that. They won it with 4 or 5 games to go. They were excellent this campaign. And again, people will probably point to, they didn't get that many points in the end. Compared to other champions in the past, that wasn't that many points. But Liverpool have also scored nearly 100 points and not won the league in the past. So I think, if anything, they're due a bit of luck when it comes to that. And they didn't get luck when it came to that. If they were still fighting to try and win the Premier League further into the season, they would have won a lot of them games they ended up drawing. Do you really think they would have drawn at home against Crystal Palace if they had to win that game? I'd wager they'd have gone a lot harder than what they had to on that one. So there we go. So I had Liverpool, who of course won the league, to finish 5th at best, and probably about 5th I went for, which would have in hindsight been enough for the Champions League. So it wouldn't have been that terrible of a season, but my word, they had a fantastic season in the end. Well done to them. Arsenal, the last one. I had these guys to win the Premier League. I thought they were going to do it. I thought they were finally going to become the bride. Stand on the top step of the podium. Get rid of their bottle job tagline that they are unfortunately burdened with. But somehow, Tottenham Hotspur, their great rivals from North London, have managed to win a trophy before them. So, officially, and I'm going to say it, because people, I'm going to say it. Tottenham had a more successful season than Arsenal. I'm just saying, they did. How many trophies did Spurs win? 1. How many did Arsenal win? None. Nil points for you, I'm afraid. Yeah, a better season. In terms of their results, undoubtedly way better. Spurs have been atrocious in the Premier League, but they walk away with a trophy. Arsenal walk away with nothing. You don't even get silver medals for second place in the Premier League. So, in the end, they looked like they were going to, go all the way to Liverpool, but just a bit too inconsistent, not having a striker. I don't know why people are surprised about Arsenal struggling when they don't have a striker. And again, you might say to me now, well, why did you go for them to win the league? I thought they would have got a striker. Especially in January when it became obvious they can't score. They didn't have that cutting edge for a team that should be, of course, winning the Premier League. They were unable to convert from their amounts of possession, from some of their good moves. They needed, if they had someone like an Osimhen up top or a Gyökeres up top, you never know. That could have made the difference. Liverpool might still have won it, but honestly, Arsenal would have been a real threat at that point. But as it was, Merino, good player. He's not a striker, though. Him playing up front, my word. How does it come to this? But it did, I get 1 out of 5. It's one of my worst of the lot. Laugh in the comments below. Scousers, I'm sure you'll be at me for this. I am sure you'll be on me for this. But look, I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong. Did you guys honestly think before this season started you were going to win the league? I suppose you would say you did. We're going to do now. It was always going to happen. But honestly, a lot of people were saying the same thing as me. It's going to take Slot a bit of time to adapt to being Liverpool manager, going to be the manager of one of the biggest clubs in the world. It's a bit of a difference from PSV or Feyenoord or wherever he was managing before. Do apologise, Dutch subscribers. I always mix up where he was at before. But you know what I mean. So, yeah. there you go, guys. Those are my kind of thoughts on my absolutely fantastic predictions from the Premier League season this season. Yeah, like I said, lay into me in the comments below if you want. I'll be back very soon. More content on the way. The football season may be over in England, but we've still got the European finals. We've still got the Club World Cup to come. And football never stops. And we don't either on the Football Chronicle. And plenty of transfer news as well to come your way too. So yeah, see you soon for much more content like this, guys. Have a fantastic day wherever you're on the world today. And we'll see you very soon.